Welcome, everybody. Thank you for joining us here on the Infinite Prosperity Podcast. My name is Louisa Havers, and I help high achievers, entrepreneurs, and coaches lift the lid on life and business so that they can live at their highest value. Each episode, we will bring you our favourite founders, CEOs, and guest experts to share with you their insights and strategies to expand your wealth consciousness, your spiritual leadership, and aligned business strategies. We know that living in alignment with your soul's mission is what fulfills you, and we are here to show you how to achieve this in an energetically aligned way. If you haven't already, be sure to claim your free abundance activation in the Akashic Records. Go to louisahavers.com/gift to unlock your abundance activation today. And if you'd like my support in having aligned success in life and business, then contact me at www.louisahavers.com and let's explore together if it's an aligned match. Get ready to live at your highest value and to expand into your next level of money as you elevate and receive more. You create more for others. Righty-ho, let's dive into today's episode. Welcome back, everybody. Welcome to our conversation this week. I'm joined by the fabulous Himani Jain. Welcome.
Thank you. So excited to be here. So love it. Thank you.
I'm so excited. You are a complete gift. And for those of you that have yet to step into Himani's world, Himani is a sales queen who empowers heart-centered coaches and healers to make quantum leaps in their reach, their income, their impact using smart, automated sales systems that nurture their people supersonically fast. I love that word, supersonically. That's a good word. Lots of fun for them to go through, and they buy back up to 80% of their time. I think everyone's leaning forward right now going, tell me how.
It's just a simple process. Start engaging with it and it just flows. I mean, that's the whole thing. I mean, you don't want to give your life away to your business, do you?
No. We want to build up our businesses around our life so we can carry on having life and
Love it.
claim more of life. So I would love to hear a little bit about your journey, Himani. How did you get to do what you're doing today?
Yeah, there's a whole story around it. So I knew nothing about sales, as honest as that, going back just about, I think, 6 years ago. In fact, I lost a whole. I'm trained as an interior designer. I mean, I've
Oh,
practiced that
wow.
for like 15 years in the offline world, pretty successfully, done like huge projects. And slowly it started slipping away. And I thought that this is what I'm going to do for the rest of my life until my limbs work and my brain functions, because I was very good at it. But something happened. It just started slipping away. And I wasn't good at marketing. I wasn't good at sales. I wasn't good at anything online, and none of this tech stuff that we do now. And you hear me talk about automated systems and AI and all that stuff. Nothing. I knew nothing. And it was a very tough phase, the transition that happened. Like everything started slipping away, not just the work. I think my entire life, my people around me, my family. There are two very beautiful kids who have grown up in my hands, my niece and my nephew. They were taken away from me. I lost contact. Many things happened. It was almost like I went through an identity crisis.
Wow.
And yeah, so it was a whole spiritual thing that I went through. I still go through it, but that was like the crisis period. And what happened is, and when I look back and I joined the dots, what I realized is I didn't plan to come into this world. I had no vision of getting into sales. I had no vision of becoming a coach, because for me, this did not even exist. So, how would I do it myself? This is a perfect example of divine intervention, where all the doors that I thought were mine, belonged to me, whatever that was mine, was shut down, crushed, taken away from me. I was restructured, turned into a new person. I had to acquire everything new outside of what I knew was the comfort zone. Everything was outside of it. It was not even expanding my comfort zone. It was literally living outside of it. And the minute I started surrendering, because there was nothing in my control and it was very
Mhm.
painful, the whole experience. So the minute I learned slowly, one step at a time, started surrendering, started trusting, one door started opening after another. And amazing people came my way. I started working with two Karma Club Award winners. I mentioned because I had no access to them. when I came to the online world, I knew no one. I knew nothing. I was just a nobody. So the way things have fallen into place, the kind of teachings that have come my way, the way I've been put into different people's worlds, the way I've built my own systems. I'm not teaching anything that I've learned from Coach A and I've become good at it and I'm passing it on. I have built it from scratch, all by my experience. And, I'm the creator of what I teach right now today. So, what I'm saying is, it's been a very powerful journey in many ways of restructuring, of not just becoming the next version of myself, but like possibly a new human being altogether. And sales was just incidental because one fine day I was sitting on a mountain and I realized that coaching is where it's all at, because coaches are one human beings who carry these beautiful gifts because of something that they went through, generally some kind of trauma, some kind of experience, deep experience, and they learn how to navigate through it. And that becomes a part of their experience and their journey. And now they get ready, they get trained by the divine to now bring a transformation in so many people's lives. And I'm like, for me, sales cannot be just sales. And the minute I realized that, I said, holy shit, I'm the vehicle to make that happen for them. That's who I am. I'm here to serve. So then I just stuck onto and I'm like, I have to make it because this is my calling now. So now that's who I am now.
Oh, I love that so much. That I mean, what a journey to have that whole previous life collapse to be able to make way for the new to come through. And what you were saying is so true. When we're hanging on to things, we create that contraction. Whereas if we go, right, hang on a second, I've just got to allow and surrender and follow the flow, we collapse timelines and it's much easier. We get there much more quickly than when we're trying to push through.
I won't say I haven't been chasing things. I'm still not quite there as yet. I'm very aware of it. Awareness has come in. But what I'm saying is it's a beautiful journey because now you see things very differently. When things pop up, you're like, okay, you are aware and you let it pass. It may take a little bit, but it's beautiful because the minute you let it go, it loses its power over you and you take your control back, if I may say it. And then
Yeah.
and then another door opens up and I'm just like, I've stopped looking at the end goal. Like, I know the ultimate vision. I'm here to serve tens of thousands of coaches and I know that. But then how am I going to make it there? I don't know. And I'm allowing it to happen.
Yes, that's it. That's so beautiful. I love it. I love it. So
Thank
I'm
you.
intrigued to hear, given your complete your self-awareness, your spiritual journey, this world that we live in the online space, where we are living alongside so much technology. That I mean, it's incredible what we have in our hands that we're able to use. What do you see is the role of automation in a world where human connection is just such a big priority for us to be able to, because we do business with people that we know, like, and trust. Relationships is everything. what
Such a
what
Such a powerful question, absolutely, because I think especially after COVID, and we are human, so we crave human connection. And also after COVID, I've realized if you spend 2 minutes with someone online, I mean, online world is a crazy place. Everybody's a stranger. You don't get to meet with people tangibly, feel their energy, their bodies, their body language, not so much. And B, we are living in a world where people are craving human connection. People are
Mm,
craving to be heard. People are craving for that, even from a stranger, they're looking for some kind of a, I don't know what's the word. I won't say acknowledgement because then that becomes validation, which is not great. But in some sense, you're craving that connection. Yeah. So what I realized is when you use technology and you bring that in, see, your business, if you want to scale, if you want to grow and scale in the online world, they always say that numbers is where it's all at. Now imagine having to humanize the connection with tens of thousands of people. You're going to go crazy. You're asking for trouble. You're going to get overwhelmed. And which is what the biggest problem in the online industry is. We all know
mm,
that. So what I have found is the best mix is the initial connection, the first outreach, as we call it in our world, or reaching out to a larger number of people, we automate a lot of that because then we let people raise their hands up or not, because
Mm,
that's up to them.
mm,
Also for a lot of different tasks, like, like I keep holding my workshops and my master classes. So if I want to remind them, I want to send them which are static messages, but I want to personalize it. I want to send them through my personal message inbox, not like send it out in an impersonal way. Or email also has a very poor open rate, so we do that. But I'm just saying, if I want to humanize it, I want to even send some voice messages to some people. So then what I do is I automate all of that. So that saves
mm,
me a lot of time. And then what happens is I have engaged some, now these are my whole, this is part of my process. At every stage, I create an obstacle. I create intentional obstacles so that people get a chance to go through those obstacles or not. So people who like to stay inside their comfort zone, people who are not yet quite ready to take the action, people who are not quite ready to move forward in your world, whatever it is that you're offering, they kind of drop off the grid. And the ones who keep moving, because imagine there are multiple stages, multiple touch points, multiple milestones, howsoever it makes sense, or multiple stages. And the ones who keep navigating together with you, of course, they don't realize that the journey was created by you, because that's what I do the best. But the ones who take action and keep moving, now you know who are your best people. Now,
mm,
now what you do is just that small number of people. Like if I use the automation as an example to connect with 1,000 people, now there may not be more than 100 people or 50 people at one given point in time with whom I can build a human connection. So I double down on building human connection, adding value, leaving voice notes, getting to know with them, maybe getting on a Zoom call. I can afford to do that. I spend time with my people. All my people inside my mini world, I know them. I know what's going on with them. I know, like, it's a one-on-one interaction. So
mm.
they become like big fans and they keep moving together with me. They like to stay in my world because they see a lot of shift happening. So that's how I balance the two.
I love it so much. I think you're absolutely right. We need that balance because, I mean, automation's beautiful because it can give you your time back. And like you say, then you're having conversations with the people who are ready to have conversations with, and that you can help because you've been able to set it up in that way. I think that's beautiful. I think there's a real place for both, and it's interesting how so many people you I mean, I'm sure you see these ads as well on Facebook and all the other places where people will use that marketing where they're sort of saying, well, that doesn't work anymore, that's rubbish, you've got to automate everything. um, Chat GPT is that can only do anything through Chat
No, no,
GPT,
no,
and I'm
no, no.
like, no.
No.
I
I mean, I talk about AI, and the other day I was sitting in my workshop. It's a closed environment, and I announced, suddenly I was going through a slide, and I looked up and I said, "Do you guys know? I'm going to share with you one secret. I still don't know how to use Chat GPT. I mean, I kind of know, but I'm not good at it. Like, I know, okay, this
Yeah,
exists. This is
well,
where you go. This is where you put the prompts. But if you ask me to teach you, because I love to teach and share, I am not the person. Because for
mm,
me, I am the creator. Chat GPT can just it's great. I mean, it's a great productivity tool. And when I have the time, I'll invest the time and I'll get really good at it. That's a no-brainer. But for me, Chat GPT or any such tool just gives me a sum total of what already exists in the world of the internet. what
yes,
what I am thinking and what I'm creating, what is getting passed on through me is not limited to that.
no,
It cannot it cannot it cannot take care of that. It cannot overpower that. It cannot overrule that. It's not even possible, because otherwise the role of the creator, the universe, the whole co-creation process will stop existing. I don't believe in that. So I mean, I
no.
believe, so it's very powerful because things have happened. I've created things through receiving messages and downloads. So how can ChatGPT do that for me? You can't.
Yeah, it can't. It can't. Yeah, it's a beautiful productivity tool. It's amazing. But I think this is where the nothing will ever replace human intuition and the divine downloads and the spirituality. And I think in this world, from everything that you've been sharing, there is a real calling for more and more people wanting to be able to really expand that, tap into that, so that they can live the life that they came here to make, and for coaches to be able to make the impact that they came here to make through that intuition, through that human connection. I've got a question for you, for those coaches that are out there that have already got success, they've already got clients signing up for their programs. What's your reflection on, do they need a sales system? I mean, they may have a sales system, but what's your reflections on sales systems? Do they
I
need
love
one?
it. You have the best questions for me today that I love answering. So, what I didn't share with you is back in, I think, 2021 and 2022, I was only and only working with coaches who were running 5-day live launches, 5-day challenges, which means they were making at least, I would say, in a range of sometimes more, but at least 40, 50K per launch, at least, which means they were already at 6 figures, broadly speaking. And they were aiming at going to 500K or sometimes a million revenue per year. And I have worked with them. I've got some crazy testimonials and results. And I'll tell you from my experiences, one-on-one experiences, these are all one-on-one clients. None of them ever had any sales system installed in their entire process. And they work with the best of business coaches, best of the best, spend crazy amount of money ranging between 30K, 50K, whatever. And best of coaches, they're brilliant coaches. There's nothing wrong with them, and they teach sales. But what they don't teach, because it's not a part of business coaching, sales is very different than business. And there are advantages of having a sales system. And I'll tell you very quickly one or two of them. Sales systems is actually, they teach you the tactical pieces of selling. They're not like, okay, this is the client getting processed, this is the email, this is the post, this is your script, this is how you're going to talk in a call, this is your sales call. I mean, this whole thing around sales calls and all of that, we don't follow any of that. So they don't have that system. And the minute they install that system, it is very, very easy and fast for them to install because it gets done once. And then it's almost like creating a pipeline. It's almost like creating a drainage. Or if they have that, it's generally super clogged. You just unclog that whole drainage pipe. And depending upon how much your capacity is, you can easily, I've been saying this, you can quadruple your revenue in literally a quarter if you're ready. It's that powerful. If you are at 100K, you can literally jump over to 250K, 500K very, very fast, and so on and so forth. It's so, so important. And the other thing I want to bring everybody's attention here, whether people even are at 10K, I don't care. I mean, people could be at 50K, people could be at 100K or wanting to go to 250K. The point is, everyone who's working with clients today, every coach and every healer who's working with clients today, up to 80% of the revenue, whatever they're making, doesn't matter, wherever they are at, doesn't matter, up to 80% of the revenue is actually sitting at the last leg of the coaching journey. In order to make, where you think this is it, I'm doing well, maybe I can add a couple more clients, engage a couple of more strategies, and you reach a certain point, what you don't realize is you're still like making, possibly you can still go 5x from there. But just adding, because 80% and 20% is just 1/5 of the total. And it's super easy to do it. The further away you are on that curve, the more you're making, the faster you will be able to jump over to the other side, because it's that one piece that's missing, and that's what I teach.
That's incredible. I love how you've been able just to help people to really see that it doesn't have to be like a linear journey, as so often people can, particularly I think if you're newer on your journey, but for those that have been in business for a while, recognize that you can have those leaps. And it's amazing how systems help you to do that. They're essential for holding the container of the business and for being able to look at the specific things that, what's working, we're going to do more of that. What's not working, we're not going to do that.
That's
To
it.
be able
Very well
to
said.
make that bigger impact. So how do, just to kind of build on this, because so often we, as in every business owner out there, can spend, as we were talking about, like that fine tuning, looking at things that are working, spending time on things that aren't necessarily working, trying to fix the wrong things. From your perspective, how how do you help people find the leaks and the bottlenecks in their business
Yeah,
quickly?
great question. It's the easiest thing to do. So it's going to get a little technical to answer, but yeah, there are two ways we do it. One is we build a pipeline and we mark off stages and we call it different names, and then we see and we map it out. There are ways to do it. We also do KPIs for people who are a little more
Mm,
advanced. If you're not, that's fine too, or we do, like a simpler version of it. So it's very easy to see. Like as an example, let's say you have a workshop tomorrow. I'll explain in a very simple example. I just had one. So I have
mm,
these different stages mapped out, which are corresponding to the workshop. And it'll change. It's very dynamic at between every event that you hold or different offerings that you may have. So as an example, you put out the offer. Some people will say, yes, I want the link. Yes, I'm interested. So you mark them off in the yes bucket. Now, then the next piece will be either they will sign up or they will not. There are two actions they will take. So the ones who sign up, you put them in the signed up bucket. What you can call it anything. And the
mm.
ones who don't, they require a little extra nudge, a little extra push, so you mark them off in that bucket. Now, the ones who do not get into, so you obviously nurture them a little more. Now, the ones who have signed up, they may or may not show up for the actual workshop, even if they've signed up, even if they've paid. My last workshop was a paid workshop, and people still didn't show up. Not
Yeah.
every. You see, so you have to keep them nurtured, excited, give them more breadcrumbs, as I call it, keep them warmed, keep them on their toes, keep them excited. So there are ways to do it. So then even those, now you know that, okay, these people have to do a certain something, which is a part of sales closing process, because your next goal is to get them to show up for the workshop. So then you have another bucket called showed up, these people showed up for the workshop. So that's another bucket. Next is some people will watch the replay. Now you've got systems you can easily track who watched the replay or not. So then that's the replay bucket. Now your obviously goal is to get them to work together with you. Now there are different touch points you can build. Like I offer calls before that. People call them
Mm,
sales calls. I don't call them sales calls because they're not. And I've never sold anything to anyone ever. Working with me has always been the most logical, intentional next step for people who are ready. They come to me,
yes.
I don't go to them. That's how we map out the whole process. But then if I'm doing a call in the middle, so my next step is to get them on a call, not like to sign up for my program. Of course, there's a link. If they want to, they can. So now how do I get them to sign up for my call? So I create these different buckets. And then at every point, I can always tell it's very simple that if you know the numbers, if you know that 100 people, just an example, if 100 people signed up for my workshop, I mean, how many people said yes? Out of that, how many people actually signed up? Out of that, how many people,
Mm,
showed up live? Out of that, how many people watched the replay? Out of that, how many people booked the call? This is the most basic. I actually can do 16 steps out of this, even within this. So
yes.
now you have the number on a total of hundreds. It's very easy to map out the percentage, and you keep seeing what are the weakest, which stages are the weakest. When you make an offer, what happens? How much percentage of people drop out? How many people sign up?
Mm,
So what's your conversion rate? So wherever are your weakest areas, you start tweaking them. If you're getting objections, I mean, this is not for you, but a lot of people keep complaining about, oh, when we meet up, we get objections, people are not ready. And objections they're just a reflection. Like our life is a reflection of what we stand for, our energy, our thoughts. That's what we attract in our
yes.
life. I mean, all of
Yeah.
us know that who are energy workers and healers and different kinds of things that we are practicing. Sales is exactly that. If you get objections, that's just a mirror of some information, some nurturing piece that you didn't do right beforehand. So like I call my methodology as um, persuasion, not persuasion, but persuasion. So what that
Yeah.
means is you do everything before they even show up in your call or sign up with you to work together with you. And that process is what I help my people map out. So
Mm,
they get so warmed up to you, like it's like a knob that you learn how to raise their temperature up so much that either if they can't contain and they're not ready, they're going to fall off the grid, they're going to drop off that container, that vessel. Imagine a boiling pot of water and you
yes. Yeah.
raise the temperature up, 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 up. And the ones who make it all the way up, now they are ready to expand because you've nudged them, because you're like, they were sitting on the edge forever and they must have been wanting to do something with their life for the, I don't know, God knows for how long. And now they can't contain it because you've done something, and that something is what I teach. And then the only thing that they can do to answer their calling to take the next step, because they can't contain it, is to come to you, because you were the one who was building all the touch points all throughout in the background without selling anything. They are going to knock at your door. They are going to want to know more. They are going to move together with you. That's how it should work. That's how it
Yeah.
becomes fun.
And it's serving. You mentioned about serving. I'm here to serve, and I think true sales is of service. But if we're leading with that, how am I serving? How am I helping? It doesn't feel like sales. People love to buy. They love to buy. We buy what we want, don't we? Whatever it is, whatever price tag it is, we love to buy. We love shopping, and being able to be able to find solutions that are going to help us get the outcome that we
Absolutely.
want.
Yep.
Yeah, powerful stuff. And I think that everyone will be writing down, because there's so many times as people are growing that there will be different points along the way where there are leaks, there are bottlenecks. So often the business owner is the bottleneck, that squeeze point that happens for people. And then that's sure sign. You've got to look at something, tweak your system, something needs fiddling with to get that flow back in. Oh, there's so much gold here, Himani. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Just to kind
Thank
of
you.
wrap up, what would you say are the top 3 tips then for entrepreneurs that have been listening to this conversation?
3 tips to get more clients. Number 1, don't be scared of jumping in on a call with your people. Do not think they are sales calls, because what you've been taught, everything, whatever connotation that you have in your mind about the sales calls, is just being planted in your brain, that it's not really actually true. Sometimes I feel it's been planted to keep us stuck. I also went through that, so I know it. It's like going on a date. Like, if I texted you and I started having the best conversation with you in text, and and we had, for the next 1 month, and we're like the biggest fans of each other, we fall in love. Will you come and will you say yes to marrying me without ever getting to meet with me?
Yes.
Meeting is so important. Putting the face to the conversation is so important in my world. There's nothing sales about it. We don't sell. If you find, number 2 is, if you find yourself selling, or having to prove your worth, or having to re-explain what your program is about, its benefits. I don't know what you do. I don't do any of that. I do a good job of that in the persuasion process. If you're doing any of that, that means there's something you need to tweak, and don't be afraid of it. Don't be nervous. It's all good. All systems are in place. Uh, Feel free to come to me. Feel free to go to anyone else. Feel free to go to your business coaches. But understand that it's all tweakable. It's all fixable. And the third thing is, connection is where everything is at. If you learn the skill set of building high touch, high rapport with your people. See, this is the difference between, let's say, I don't know, a Tony Robbins and us. I'm not that big. I don't plan to go that big. I don't even want to be that. There's nothing wrong with that. But a person of that level and stature, what is the missing piece in their business, and what is the edge that we have over them? He cannot reach out to you ever, even if he wanted to. We can
Yeah.
personalize and humanize the connection. So make use of those DMs. Don't buy into cold DMs and stuff like that. There's nothing cold about a DM. DM is just a message. It's just a string of words. What is cold? Cold is the audience until they get to know you. So your job is to learn how to turn the temperature up and make them warm to you. There is nothing called cold DMs, guys. So don't be afraid. Go out there. You have amazing gifts that you've been. If you are a coach, trust me, it's not easy to become a coach, because it requires 180 degrees personality shift. I mean, I think Louisa would agree with that. And if you are that, you are the blessed one, and you have the endurance, and you've gone through something which is of super value to humanity as such. Do not let all this come in the way. Go out there and make it happen.
I love it. Yes, yes. How can people come into your world and to lap up more of your wisdom, Hermione? And I know you've got a free gift as well. So please tell us all the things.
Sure. We built this amazing, simple 3-minute hot AI powered quiz. It's a sales quiz. It tells you where you are at in that process, in that journey. We map like 4 milestones. It takes like 3 minutes. It's like, I think there's just radio buttons on each page. You just go click, 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 click next. And, just do
Perfect.
that. It's so much fun. And it'll give you a lot of perspective. It'll give you instant results. Keep an eye on the email and it'll just send you some good juiciness.
Oh, that's awesome. Thank you so much. And I know you're
Thank
on
you.
Facebook as well, so people can come and find you on there.
Awesome. Feel free
And
to message me. I'm a DM gal. I live on Messenger. I am happy to talk to anyone. I'm always available. I'm very approachable. I'm not one of those don't reach, can't reach. No,
yeah,
feel free to talk.
that's beautiful. Thank you so much.
Thank
That
you.
was just absolutely incredible. And I hope you'll come back again. Thank you to all our listeners. We hope you've enjoyed this conversation. Do come and find me and Hermione on Instagram, Facebook. Tell us what you thought of our conversation. And please do share this episode with anyone that you think it will help. Until next time.
Awesome. 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 Thank you so much. I so love all the listeners here. And I would love to connect with as many of you. Would love to know, what did you think about this? Did you find it radical, this information? Did you find it useful? You want to leave some comments? I'd love to read them. And awesome. Have a beautiful day, guys.
Thank you so much, Hermione. And until next time, everyone, sending you all lots and lots of love.
Thanks for listening to the Infinite Prosperity podcast. And if you like what you've heard and want to know more, please go to louisahavers.com. We just appreciate you so much. So thank you for listening and hanging out with us. If there's anything that we can do for you, you can email us at louisa@louisahavers.com. Let my team know if you have any ideas for shows that you'd love to hear or topics you want me to talk about. Really looking forward to hearing from you. All right, that is it for this week, everybody. Thank you so much for joining us for today. Looking forward to connecting with you again. Until next time, namaste.